This is JB. I am a first year law student, and today I'm going to do my acceptances and rejections. So I applied to 8 different law schools, different places around the country, just based on where I thought I could go. Um, at first, I had hoped to go to the University of North Carolina. I was born in North Carolina and still a fan of the Tar Heels. I wanted to go to UNC as an undergraduate, but that just wasn't an opportunity for a bunch of different reasons. Uh, Not my academics, but other reasons. And that's where I wanted to go. But UNC is highly ranked. You have to have a very high GPA. Mine was fine, but it probably wasn't high enough. And then you have to have a super high LSAT score, and mine was just barely good enough, slightly below average. And so that wasn't an option. Other places I wanted to go were University of Arizona, where I have a master's degree, um, University of Wisconsin, close to where I was living, and I was living in Green Bay, but University of Wisconsin is in Madison, not too terribly far, and several other law schools from around the country, because there are a lot of law schools and places that I would want to live. But your GPA and your LSAT pretty much decide what your options are, because when you talk to law schools, they always say, "Oh, it doesn't matter if you have a low LSAT or a low GPA. It's fine. Just go ahead and apply." We look at your what do they say? We take a holistic look at your application, and I'm trying to find a diplomatic way to say this. So they say that, and they want you to believe that, but the main thing they look at is your LSAT and your GPA, because let's say you were, in college and you were the on all the sports teams and you were in all the clubs and you were volunteering, but you have a low GPA and a low LSAT score, you're just not going to get in to a very highly ranked law school, because the U.S. News and World Report rankings are so important to law schools because it gives them prestige and some sense of importance. Um, so they're working to get as highly ranked as they can so that they can bring in more money based on um, how well they are perceived. And part of the way they do this is by showing that they are highly selective. And so the more people that apply, the more people they can reject, and then it looks like they're more selective, even though they knew all along who they wanted. Um, so I I did look at the rankings, and I looked at my numbers, and I saw which law schools I thought that I could get into. Like I said, I applied for 8, and I don't have the dates that I applied for these, but it was all around December 24 and January 25. I think all of them were. So in no particular order, I'll just start. So Washburn University School of Law, it's in Topeka, Kansas. I used to live in Kansas a long time ago. And when I went there, I went to Topeka pretty frequently. And at that time, like I said, it was 2014. I didn't even have a bachelor's degree, but I wanted to get a bachelor's degree and I wanted to go to law school. And I saw myself going to Washburn. And I had really good conversations with them, with their representative, and I thought that would be a place that I could go because my scores pretty closely matched what they were looking for. But I was rejected. Another place I applied was University of Tulsa, College of Law, and that's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I lived in that part of the country because, like I said, I lived in Kansas, southwest Kansas, Dodge City, for some time. And Tulsa is much bigger than the cities in Kansas, except maybe Wichita, I don't know. But it has D1 sports teams. Um, there's everything that you would possibly need in Tulsa. And I think it's one of the law schools that's going to move up over time in the rankings because there's money there. There's no other way to say it. That's why. But I was rejected from there as well. And then Oklahoma City University, I thought that I would get in there no problem, but I was rejected there. And I, for some reason, applied to Northern Kentucky University. I think maybe the reason that I applied there is because it's not too far from Cincinnati. I've been through that part of the country quite a lot when I was younger, probably 20 years ago. And I like that part of the country because it's not too terribly far from where I'm from in North Carolina, and there's hills, and it's it's just a nice area. It's there's a lot of rural areas, so outdoors activities. But unfortunately, I was rejected from there as well, and that was a surprise, but it happened. And then Marquette University in Milwaukee. Like I said, I was living in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I visited Marquette. I toured there. I knew someone who still works in the administration there because the place that that person went to law school was the same place that I got my master's degree, and I had a really nice conversation with that person. But of course, um, they weren't going to be able to do anything to help me. But I had a nice conversation, and I liked Marquette because it's downtown in Milwaukee. Um, it's not too far from Chicago, which is my favorite city in the United States. But I knew Milwaukee well, and I could live there. One problem with Marquette is that it's expensive because it's private, and wasn't looking forward to that. But the attorney that I was working for in 24, he went to Marquette for 1 year and then transferred, but he kept asking me to apply to Marquette, and I said, "Well, I'm not going to get in because my score is just not high enough. I'm just not going to get in." "Oh, you'll get in. Don't worry. Just go ahead and apply." And so I applied, and I didn't get in, just like I said. But I wasn't terribly surprised by that. It didn't bother me, but it happened. And the last one, or the next one that I applied to is Jacksonville University College of Law. That's in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a new university, but they're now accredited by the ABA. And I thought it would be nice to be a part of something new because you help set the standard, you help get the school started. And I thought that since they're new, I might have a better opportunity of getting in. And I thought, well, if I get in, then I'll be in Jacksonville, which isn't far from the beaches outside of Jacksonville, including Jacksonville Beach. And I used to spend a lot of time down there when I was younger because it was actually easier to get to the beach in Jacksonville from North Carolina than to get to the beaches in North Carolina. And so I went there pretty often, several times. And I've gone back as late as last year. No, last year. This year, 25. I was there in April. But so I was there in April, and I was there in 23. So I've been there several times. It's a great city. Great city. It's very spread out, very large geographically, but it's a great city. They have, of course, NFL football. It's on the water, near the beaches. Everything that you're going to need is there. It's a city that's going to be economically and financially successful for a long time because of location. And it's a city where there's opportunity. And in certain parts of the city, you can still buy a house for a decent amount of money, like a regular person could afford a house. Not very many of them, and the houses are old, and you're going to have to swing a hammer and fix them up a little bit, but you can still buy an affordable house there. So I thought, yeah, I would like to be in Florida, and I would like to practice law there, but I was rejected. I don't quite understand why, but I was. And that actually happened with all of my rejections except Marquette, because I was confused. Like, I didn't understand why, because I had um, good enough GPA, actually probably above average GPA, good enough LSAT. I had very strong letters of recommendations. I had one from Yale JD, one from the Stanford SJD, one from the University of Wisconsin attorney JD, and a bunch of other letters of recommendation that were from people who were qualified to give recommendations, who knew me and who could write strong letters on my behalf. And so I felt really good about that. And I wrote very strong personal statements because I'm a writer and I have stories to tell. And so if you give me that chance, that's what I'll do. And I told a strong story, but unfortunately, telling that story might have given a lot of these law schools reason to reject me, because the story was in small part, about my brain surgery. And so they might have said, oh, well, this guy, he just had brain surgery, he can't succeed in law school. And if they said that out loud, that's discrimination. And they couldn't get away with that, but they probably just, or they may have just did the discrimination and didn't tell anybody. And that's what happens a lot of times, discrimination. They just do it, don't say it, don't write it down, don't tell everybody, just do it. And that may have been what happened to me. So it's fine, because I would rather not go to a law school where people think and act like that. So I guess it worked out for the better. But I haven't gotten to the two law schools that I was accepted to. The first one was the University of North Dakota School of Law. It's in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And one good thing about North Dakota is you don't even have to have a refrigerator. It's plenty cold out there. But when I received the acceptance letter from the University of North Dakota, I was thrilled, because I wasn't sure how many places I was going to get into. And it came, and I was excited, and I got a small scholarship, but I was excited about that too, because even though it was, $1,000, this particular scholarship had meaning, and it recognized some of my best attributes. And so I felt like they really wanted me, and I still believe that they really wanted me. And so I wanted to go there, and I had everything set up to go. That was my plan. I was going to go to Grand Forks, and I've lived in different parts of the country: North Carolina, Arizona, Alaska, Kansas, Wisconsin, and I've been to 42 states. So no matter where I go, I can adjust. And I have been through North Dakota a few times on train. It's a big state. It's an empty state, but it's a beautiful state. The only thing is just adjusting to the cold. Like, it's plenty cold in Wisconsin, but it's way colder in North Dakota. And so I was a little concerned about that, because I don't like to drive anyhow, but I can't drive because of the brain surgery. So I was wondering, oh man, if I end up getting an apartment that's like 7 miles from campus, that's going to be tough. Walking through the negative 40 weather with the wind blowing 30 miles an hour, that's going to be tough. And so I wasn't quite sure how that was going to work out. But that law school had a lot to offer. I felt like if I went there, people would know my name and people would care about me, and I would have an opportunity to succeed. And their dean at the time, he was an expert in, or yeah, he was an expert in alternative dispute resolution, and so that's one of the areas that I'm interested in because I have a little bit of background in that, or a lot of background in that area because of my work in with workers, labor movement, negotiating on behalf of workers, and so I thought that's something that I would like to be a part of, and I would like the opportunity to learn from him. But he eventually decided to move on to a college, I think in Indiana. But so that didn't work out. And early in the year 2025, I received an acceptance letter from University of Arkansas at Little Rock, Bowen School of Law. And so when I got this, I was absolutely thrilled. Um, it's Owen isn't the highest ranked place, but I knew that it would be a really good place for me because it's in an area of the country where I feel comfortable. I had thought about I didn't mention this, but I had thought about going to University of Memphis. Um, Another one I didn't mention is University of Louisville, but in Kentucky. But I thought about going to the University of Memphis because a lot of my work in the labor movement was inspired by the civil rights movement. And Memphis and Little Rock are two cities that were important places in the civil rights movement. Of course, there's many, many more, but those were two of them. Memphis probably being the most famous of those two. And so I had been to both cities before, and I thought that it would be great if I came here to this part of the country. And the other thing is, since it's in this part of the country, the kind of food that I like is here. Barbecue and fried everything. Just I don't know what you call it, but country food. And so there's food, there's music, country, blues, jazz, rock, everything you would want is here. And when I visited Bowen, I did in April, I think, of this year for the Admitted Students Day, I knew it was going to be the perfect city for me because it's the right size, has everything I need, it's not expensive, relatively. I knew that over time I would be able to find a job here, I would be able to afford a house here, I would be able to have all sorts of connections because it's a state capital. So, in the legal community, there's all kinds of opportunities. And so I knew it would be perfect. And so I accepted. And it was a really great decision because, I was given in-state tuition even though I was coming from out of state. I was given some scholarships and what else? Some other reduction, and it's already one of the lowest tuition rates in the country, around $30,000, and I don't know, it's less than that, but can't remember the exact number. But one of the other lowest ones is North Dakota, but for me, coming to Little Rock was even better because of the in-state tuition. In North Dakota, they can't, by law, give you in-state tuition if you're not in-state. So I made my decision, and I came to Little Rock, to Arkansas, and it's been a really great decision. I'm really happy about it. I feel like this is the place where I could spend the rest of my life, and that's saying something because I've lived so many other places. And so I'm really happy about it. I'm in my first year now, and it's not easy. And I'm just hoping that I can get through my last exam, which is coming up here real shortly, and just have a good, strong, or at least survive the first semester, and then try to do better the second semester, and just make it through. If I can just make it through the first year, then I'll at least have that. So I'm just doing the best I can. But what I would tell people that are applying to law school is that if your heart is set on going to Harvard or Yale or Stanford or any of the other T14s, and that's just what you have to be happy, then go for it. I don't want to tell you that's not the thing to do. Because if your goal is to get that prestigious diploma and make those connections and to go work in big law in Washington D.C. or New York or Boston or wherever, then go do that and succeed and be happy, and I think that's awesome. But if your scores aren't quite that high and you're just not going to be able to go there, it's not the end of the world. The thing is to find a place for you, whatever that is. If that's 20 to 50 or 20 to 100 or past 100, that's okay. Because no matter what law school you go to, they teach you the exact same thing almost. And it's not like at Yale, they give you special information about the law. You do meet people that you might not meet at lower ranked law schools, and you will just have experiences that you won't have at lower ranked law schools. But you're not getting inside information that nobody else has. But so you shouldn't be discouraged. Just go to whatever law school is the best for you, considering everything: finances, location, where you want to be a lawyer, where you want to work, where you feel like you fit in, where you're wanted. That's really important, to be wanted. So just go wherever that place is, and everything will work out fine. I don't regret now that I'm in Little Rock. I don't regret that I didn't get into those places that I wanted to go, Arizona and North Carolina and Wisconsin and Louisville and so forth and so on, because if I got into those places, I might not be as happy as I am, and I might have different financial effects from going to those places. I might not have received as much money, and so those opportunities are gone, and I got the opportunity that was best for me. I took it, and I'm here, and now I'm going to go. And so I'm just going to do my best and keep on getting it. And that's all you really can do. So. I don't know why I paused just now, but that's about all I have to say. Just do what you can do. Enjoy the experience of applying, of learning about different places, meeting people. Enjoy the experience. Look at your options, and then go with whatever works for you. That's all I have to say about that. That's my acceptances and rejections. Way more rejections than acceptances, but it's all fine, and it worked out. That's it. Thank you.